briefly overview the methodology, starting on page 13, just overview it, and then we're going to work, of course, on detail later on. Okay. You'll notice that I've got on page 13 mentioned universal principles, that terminology. Okay. And then on page 16, we have some genre-specific principles. Okay. What I mean by these terms is universal means in all of the New Testament or Scripture we would apply these principles. And the genre-specific simply means there are some genres, as in, for instance, apocalyptic, principles that we wouldn't apply to Matthew unless you were in chapter 20 or something, 25 years. Okay. That's terminology on that level. Then I got some more terminology, first steps. I'll talk about that briefly. But then I've got foundational steps, okay, and then I've got frequent steps. Of course, I got some final steps too. You know, it all starts with F. No big deal about that. It's just what it works out. Point is this. The first steps are providing us with the ability, the initial ability to be able to analyze the text. Be able to read it, for instance, and do some of the historical work, just so that we have a basis for it, and we're not blindly opening it up and looking at it. Foundational steps really are those steps that provide us with the primary data. Okay? Primary data, foundational steps. Okay? And those foundational steps are things that you've already studied, at least. Diagramming is one of them listed here. You can do a whole lot of that. We'll do some of that. But you've certainly done the textual analysis stuff, using probably Dan Wallace's book, I suspect, right? See, so you've done some of that. That analysis and then diagramming, those two together, and they do work together, provide us with hard data. Okay? That needs to be done on all the texts. Okay? The frequent steps, as the name implies, don't have to be done everywhere in every verse. Obviously, there's not a textual problem in every verse, right? Not every verse needs a particular kind of word studies. Okay? Not every verse has a quotation or an allusion. You see what I'm saying? So these are frequent. As we are working with the foundational steps, when we start drawing data from that information that we get tells us whether we need to do any of these other things. Okay? See what I'm saying? And then the final steps is just once we got it all done, okay, then we're putting it into a form that we will be able to use, later on as well as immediately, if you will, and use it in ministry. And the key there would be, we need to produce something in a form so that if I come back to the same thing 5 years from now, I still know what I was talking about and know what I concluded and know how I got there. See? Otherwise, we have to start over. And that's no fun. Okay? I've done that. Started all over again with myself frequently for not preserving something properly. And that's pretty dumb. But it happens, okay? Okay. So, what we're going to do for the rest of this evening is I want to walk through the notes on the reading of the text and historical study were the first steps. Okay? I'm just going to walk through that when I get to that and get some of the highlights. Okay? And then what we're going to do first thing in the morning, that's not where we're going to go to the book of